Well, I have very, very strong feelings about interviews. Although for reasons that I am now kicking myself, I don't actually I have a little bit on interviews in the book, but not a lot. I should have perhaps put in more. You're quite right. You know, if you talk to psychologists, they will tell you that there is no more flawed methodology in American life than the job interview. It's an absurd process, which nearly everybody botches. And nearly everyone believes, by the way, they're not botching as they are botching it. There are a very limited number of things you can learn about somebody in a face-to-face encounter. They are real, right? But they're limited. So you can learn that somebody is, you can learn how energetic they are. You can learn how extroverted they are. You can have some measure of their self-confidence in that encounter. So if you're hiring someone to do lots of job interviews, you can learn something about how they approach it. That'd be very, very useful. You can also learn whether you're attracted to that person and whether that person is attracted to you. Another potentially interesting, important thing if your main motivation in hiring is to, come up with employees who you can later hit on. But there are all kinds of other things which you think you can find out, which you can't, right? You cannot learn from an hour conversation with someone how open-minded that person is. Can't. Can't learn how conscientious they are, how hardworking they are. Can't know anything about their ability to function in very different contexts, right? I was talking to an academic group recently, and I was, in the academic world, typically before they hire you, you give a job talk, right? Insanity. What is a job talk? It's a case where I take somebody and I force them very early in their career to stand up before a group of incredibly discriminating critics, all of whom are senior to them, and with their entire career in the balance, give a successful lecture. Now, none of the traits that you are testing in that moment are at all relevant to the life of an academic. In fact, an academic is someone who chose academia in large part because they aren't very good at performing in high-pressure situations and don't want to and have no interest in so doing. Right? It's crazy. It's like if you were the general manager of the Seattle Seahawks and you made everyone who was trying out for the offensive line do crocheting. Right? You think, because, so-and-so can't crochet. I don't know if we can... Why would you be interested in that, right? Why test for things you don't care about? Yet we do this kind of constantly. The job interview if you're hiring someone to work the perfume counter at Saks, then by all means do a job interview. But a classic face-to-face job interview. But if you're not, then I think you sort of have to come up with better strategies.